Hi, I'm Jim Lowe. I'm the author of the High Country Chronicles on highcountryflyfisher.com. Welcome to one of my live action chronicles. I'm here today. It's the 1st of February 2020 on a California coastal stream. It's a stream I've had some modicum of success on, but I'm still trying to get my head around. Today I'm going to be fishing my 7.5 foot 3-piece 4-weight patterned after a Payne 100 taper. I've got my Osprey Exos 38 as a day pack. Knife wise, I'm sporting the newly released Work Tuff Gear Nomad. I've often talked about how this place is just lousy with ticks, and as you can see here, there it is. To ward off the ticks, I've got one of these bug off shirts on. I don't have anything on my pants. Hopefully I'll see them before they go anywhere other than the top of my clothes. But you know, it is a concern around here. As I was saying, new to me is this Work Tuff Nomad. As you can see, it's a big beefy knife. It's made out of SK85 steel, which is very similar to SK5. It's a tool steel. It's not really the kind of knife that you would typically bring to this sort of environment. I mean, I'm on a stream right now. This is a high carbon steel. It'll rust fairly easily. But it's a brand new knife, and I was eager to get out. And this place is very brushy, so I'm going to be able to put it to good use today. I actually had to use it to clear some of the trail earlier. I'm going to go ahead and put the knife through its paces a little bit before I get out fishing. I already know one thing that it's good at, and that's killing ticks. Because I've already used it for that. This is really biting in there really well. Yeah, wow, that's really clean. Now, one thing I don't want to do is I don't want to strike so hard that I end up going through the log and basically bashing the blade on one of these rocks. It's pretty sweet. So it's about 11 o'clock and I'm pretty much all geared up. I've decided to keep my my Nomad on my hip. That is a little bit of a risk, but I forgot my waders today, so I'm going to have to wet wade. Having the knife on my hip will remind me not to wade too deeply. This is, this area is so brushy that this is the kind of stream that you really want to wade up the stream, but it's too cold for that today. So I'm going to have to come in and out. The Nomad will help me with that because of all the brush. I'm not sure how that's going to affect my ability to fish, but we'll see. The one thing I want to do today is try to fish this stream well. I've fished it a couple times this year. I haven't fished it well. And really what that's just going to mean is just slowing down, more observation, thinking about what I'm doing before I make my cast. That's, sort of an added benefit, I guess, of not being able to wade is I'm going to have to be more careful about how I'm fishing. Because I'm going to have to leave the stream, come back to the stream, leave the stream, so there's more you know, more of a chance for me to spook fish.
Now here's a good pool, but I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to fish down there first and then make my way up along the bank and try to hit that deeper water. You know, basically resting the fish a little bit, because I've had to crawl through here. I've tried to stay low, so you know, hopefully I haven't spooked any fish, but you know, any big fish that I spook are gonna head straight for that rock, and I'd rather have them, you know, sitting out in the middle of that plunge, waiting for food, as opposed to hiding from me underneath a rock. So by fishing down here first and then approaching from the bottom, giving them some time to rest. As I always say, you know, fish don't live in ugly places. You know, this is an absolutely beautiful stream. I've got a nice little pocket right here. So I'm going to come around this tree, try to park myself over by this tree. Stay low, don't cast a shadow on the water, and get in and get in there without getting hung up. As you can see, there's on the far bank you've got that fallen tree, and then on the near bank we've got all this grass. There's a 2-foot slot right there that I'll be able to cast my fly down. I'll probably make a couple casts into the tail out first, and then go higher up. I'm almost certainly going to get hung up in there. Well, it's looking like this. This may be like all the other trips where I'm catching these teeny weeny fish. So I caught that teeny fish down there, and then hung up and basically spoiled the pool. So I'm up by the big rock now, and I'm just sort of hanging out. I'm about 5 feet off the bank, just checking things out, see if I can spot any fish that might actually be, you know, sitting mid-pool before I cast, or you know, maybe even some that are actually active. Now I'm not seeing anything, and this is going to be tricky, right? So I want to try to get into this tail out here first, and then work my way up the pool without hanging up on this overhanging brush and without spooking fish. So again, still catching a lot of small fish. Well, that was cool. I caught about, I don't know, a half dozen fish in there, 4 to 7 inches. So seeing that bigger fish in there, seeing that 7-inch fish in there, that was encouraging. We'll see what the rest of the stream will bring. The water's really cold, so I'm gonna try to be pretty deliberate about the water that I fish. I'm gonna try as much as I can to sight fish. You know, I'll prospect the deeper pools and maybe some of the undercut rocks, but I think for the rest of this, I think I'm just gonna hang out and you know, and just spend a lot of time observing today, and you know, just see if anything comes to light. So I've crossed the creek. I'm wet and cold. There's some sun over here. I'm going to hang out, have some lunch, warm up a little bit before I continue up the stream. So this Grail GeoPress water filters are pretty cool. You just fill them up with water, loosen the cap a little bit, and press down. Now, you're supposed to be doing it with two hands, but kind of hard to. Film and press at the same time. Boom. Bob's your uncle. Clean water. Come up on another good run. Now I fished this run before. I've actually several years ago picked up a nice fish in here. And the way that I did that last time was to cross the stream and present from over by that rock. So I think maybe that's what I'll do again. Now what I'm doing first is checking to make sure that there are no fish in this run before I cross.
Well, it's about 2 o'clock and I haven't seen a fish since that first pull. Well, I'm heading out. It's about a 2-hour hike back to the car. Fishing wasn't what I had hoped it was going to be, but fortunately, very early on, you know, I caught those fish and I spent a lot of time observing the water, so that was satisfying. Just haven't quite put it together yet. Haven't quite figured out what's going on. In total, I fished this area 3 times. The first time, excellent fishing. The last 2 times, which were this year, there just didn't seem to be any fish here. And maybe that's it. Maybe I need to fish either farther upstream or farther downstream. I know that you know, the fishing here is considered somewhat seasonal based on the runoff. I think I'll keep coming back here. I mean, there's a lot of water to fish here, and I've only fished this little bit. You know, so between now and the next 6 weeks, you know, I'll probably come back maybe twice. You know, then once we get into April, you know, I'll start thinking about the high country and you know, opening day, let's start looking at Yosemite. The Nomad got a lot of use today, and it held up pretty well. A little patina on the edge, certainly not rust, just a little discoloration, which, you know, tends to happen when you beat into wood. A little edge damage, but nothing that I won't be able to strop out. So overall, I'm quite pleased with it, and I'm happy that I had it along because I used it a lot today.